Hello and welcome back to my channel, The A Word and Me. My name is Elana and today's video is all about clubbing. So welcome to another day of university and freshers videos. I hope you're enjoying. As I film this, I don't know what day this is going to appear on, but it's going to appear on a day. So I hope that you are enjoying them. I'm a bit sweaty at the moment. I was at work from 10 till 2, which is such like a weird shift. Came back, had lunch, but I cycled there and back, so I'm a bit like sweaty still, but I'm in the mood to talk. I'm ready to go. I've got a full stomach. So I'm excited to talk to you all about clubbing. I think the first most important thing that I want to say is I am no expert at clubbing. I have been 3 times in my life in the period of 2 weeks. I will talk more about my experience later, but that is something that like I just want to get out there. So this video is all about kind of clubbing, tips for clubbing, all sorts of things, and I kind of talk about some of the worries that I had about clubbing and kind of answering them now that I have been. So I'm going to talk about 6 different things, so I hope you find that useful. I think one of the things that it's important to know is that clubbing is kind of every autistic person's nightmare. You know, there are lots of strong smells of people, including sweat. You know, there are people everywhere, you're constantly being touched, it's dark, it's really, really loud, you do it late at night, so for me it was really off like my routine, and oh my god, like clubbing just caused me so much anxiety, like the thought of it before I went to uni, I was like so worked up about it, and in the end I was like, you know, I don't actually have to go, and I'm quite like happy being like that. So just thought to like get that out there before you think I'm like some kind of clubbing expert. I'm an autistic girl who pretty much hates clubbing, might give it another go this year but probably won't. Autistic girl who pretty much hates clubbing, might give it another go this year but probably won't. The reason why, like one of the things really annoys me is that you have to pay like £5 to enter a club. I'm not for that. If I'm only going to be there for like an hour and probably not enjoy it, I'm like, nah, not for me. So yeah, I still hope you find this video useful from one autistic person to another. If you're not autistic and you're like, clubbing, yeah, but I'm going to watch this video anyway, then I hope you enjoy my interpretation of clubbing and see how different and similar it is to yours. So yeah, enjoy! So one of the like big worries that I had about clubbing was what on earth to wear. Like you hear they're hot, sweaty environments, you know, people, you know, get with other people at clubs, like what to wear. The answer is whatever you feel comfortable in terms of looks and what you feel comfortable in. When I did my 3 stints at clubbing, we had some very interesting outfits. I remember Lorene, my friend, and me, she was from Belgium, we would like kind of, to be honest, judge some of the outfits, like how impractical they were, and like I did this thing called Night Safe that I'm going to be doing regularly next term, and I did this like taster session back in February and it was freezing, and the lack of clothes that people wear, I do not understand it. Like some people must honestly freeze, so be practical about the weather. So for me, I wore like, yeah, this jumpsuit, clubbing. It was something that I was comfortable in. I knew I wasn't going to get too hot, so I could put my jacket around my waist, and it had pockets and it was nicely covered up, which was kind of the look that I was going for. Lorene, my friend, wore a hoodie and jeans, and she said that's what most people wear in Belgium. My friend Mark said when I asked him this question a year ago, he was like, people wear as little as possible when clubbing, and he has a valid point there. I think the big thing that, you know, I've got to share is my experience clubbing, well, more of lack of experience. So my first ever clubbing experience was the second night of freshers, and we went to a club. There was like a massive queue and I was like, what on earth have I signed myself up to? I hadn't drunk anything, so I was like very sober, really anxious, and my friend Sarah left her passport back at the flat, and so she was going to get a taxi back, and at this point we were like, we're unsure if she was going to come back or not. We weren't really sure what was going on. And once I got in the club, I was like, this is awful, get me out of here. I absolutely hate it. It was loud, full of people. And I was like, just Sarah, please don't come back. Because we were like, if Sarah doesn't come back, then we'll all leave. But lo and behold, Sarah came back. So I stayed. And Revs was the one that I was at, was actually probably like an okay club. It was busy, but you could go outside, which was really nice. And I just remember it being like really loud. Some songs were good, some weren't, but it was an experience. Like, it wasn't that bad, to be honest, like when I think back on it, but that was like my first experience. My second one came a couple days later when we went to Salvation, which was probably my favourite club that we went to. This time I was a little bit drunk. Lorena and me had made this like really dodgy drink between the two of us. She'd had more than I had, and the whole way down we were singing ABBA on the way into York, and then we went to a pub for a bit, and I don't think I drank. And then Salvo's was really good. They played like this ABBA montage for 5 minutes, and I really enjoyed that. I was like, you know, full on dancing. I was dancing with like kind of other people, like in a group, so that was nice. When at Salvo's, I was like really hot and I was like, really want some water, so I made the bad decision to go to the bar and get water, and like I just had so many people pushing me out of the way, bodies everywhere. It was like truly horrible because they're all sweaty and they're just pushing you out of the way because they just don't really care about you. And I remember like feeling kind of like, this is really, really horrible and I want to leave. And that wasn't great. Like, it was just, I don't know, words can't describe how much I hated it. Then I went back, did some more dancing, and I was like, nah, I've had enough now. So I think I spent like an hour and a half at Salvo's compared to like an hour at Revs, so that was alright. Salvo's was busy. They like stopped letting people in. It was that busy, and it was so hot. There was like sweat or like liquid coming down the walls. It was gross and like, yeah, ugh. And then I didn't go clubbing for the rest of Freshers, and then the next time I went clubbing was a week later in something called the Viking Raid, which was a bar crawl across York starting on campus, and there were 4 different routes, so different routes ended up at different clubs. So our route was similar to another one where we did the same things but in a different order, but we all ended up at Fibbers, and I did that with my ex-boyfriend, one of his friends, and then some of my friends, and that was really good. We experienced loads of different places and I was kind of full of energy. I was in Pot World at one point in the middle, and I kind of had a bit of a, not a meltdown, but I remember being like, I just really need to get out of here. It's really loud, I'm tired. And I sat on the street with Llewellyn and he was taking care of me. And like these people were like, is she okay? Is she drunk? And Llewellyn was like, no, she's not had anything to drink. And they just did not believe him. But I was like, no, genuinely, like I am sober, because I had been really poorly, so I hadn't drunk. And then we finished the bar crawl and ended up at Fibbers, the club. And I remember like wanting to leave and they were all like, no, if you leave, we'll all leave. So I stayed a bit longer, and then I left, and then someone was going to go with me, then like everyone decided to leave. Fibbers was alright actually for when we were there, because we were there a bit earlier than other people were, because it was like this bar crawl, so it meant there was a lot more space and it wasn't too loud in comparison to Revs. Revs was like incredibly loud, and I was there with Llewellyn, so I danced with him for a bit, and I think because I knew him and I just felt like protected, because I was really scared like someone would come up to me and try and like pull, and I was like, no, I don't want that. So to have like my boyfriend there was nice, because I think it was like a vibe for everyone to like back off, and we were there for like maybe 40 minutes, and then we went home and we walked back, and that was probably my most enjoyable experience, because I'd been at York for just under 2 weeks. Then I'd done a week of lectures. I was with people I knew, so Llewellyn and his friends, and then my friends I'd known a bit better, so like I really did enjoy that. And then I went back into Revs in like March when I was doing night safe one night, and I went in to go to the toilet and it was like busy, a bit more like enjoyable. So yeah, that is my experience clubbing. big question I had for many weeks before and during Freshers itself was, do I have to go clubbing? The short answer is no, you don't. It's completely up to you. My friend Mark didn't go clubbing at all during Freshers and that was fine for him. So I think it's like important to try if you're like me and you're like a bit unsure, but if you definitely don't want to go and you know that, then that's cool. But I think it is worth going, and you only have to go for an hour. It's just in Freshers you get free entry. We had these things called second and third year contacts sticks who would take us there and back, and they'd be in the club, so you kind of knew everyone and it was like into the timetable. So on that kind of point of view, I'd recommend going in Freshers if you can, but don't force yourself to go, and if you don't want to go, that's like absolutely fine. Another question I kind of had for myself, past me and future, well, present me, is going to answer is, when do I have to leave clubbing? The answer is whenever you want to go. I knew kind of after the first time that clubbing wasn't really going to be for me, but I did want to go a couple times to get a feel for the clubs, to be like, oh, maybe I'll find somewhere that I like and will want to go to again. So I would always set myself the task of going for 1 hour, so I've been, done it, gone. So the final thing that I want to discuss is tips for clubbing and to survive clubbing. The first thing is, because of the noise, I really wanted to try some headphones, but I never actually got round to taking the headphones to the club, so I don't know if they would be allowed, but that is definitely something to try. Sorry about the dog. The second thing is, I feel like this is a bit controversial to say, but it might be worth drinking a bit. The time that I had drunk when I went clubbing, I did enjoy it a bit more because I was just a bit like happier and merrier, but by all means don't drink if you don't want to, and don't feel like you have to drink to have a good time, because that's not the case, but it does like help a bit. For me, I was like really anxious about alcohol when going to uni, and that's something I'm going to talk about in a later video, so that's something that really did prevent me from drinking, because I was like, what if I throw up at the club, kind of things like that. Another tip is really plan when to leave, so that you know you only have to like stay for a bit, because I think otherwise you're just going to be like, when to leave, and you like kind of, I think just by planning it you can be like, hey, I've done 10 minutes more to go, that, you know, kind of thing. And if you don't want to go, say no. There is nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of other opportunities to make friends. In a club, it is so loud that you don't actually do that much socialising. Like, you can reflect back and go like, oh, that was a nice time, but like, how many memories people make clubbing? Probably very low. Not much bonding really goes on because you can't see anyone. It's in the dark and you kind of get all separated. And then the final tip is, don't buy drinks there, because you end up in a queue and like with sweaty people and pushing in, and it's not worth it and they're overpriced. Just wait. The big annoying thing is you don't get water there and you're sweaty and thirsty, and so you have to like wait till you get back. That is like the downside. But if you are a drinker, drink before you get there. Bring your drink in the taxi, bus, whatever. Drink it outside, get rid of it. There's just no point wasting your money and just spending ages queuing at a bar when you don't really need to. I hope you liked my ridiculously long video on clubbing. Don't know how long it will be when I actually come to edit it, because so much of it was waffle. Like you can probably tell, I have like no experience clubbing, but there are some answers and kind of information about things. I hope it's somewhat helpful in that, and useful, and that, yeah, you can kind of learn about my experience, but like it's okay to not like clubbing. The thing is, by the end of like first term, like no one goes clubbing anymore. Like there are people that will continue going regularly for like almost all of uni, but people just kind of stop going. They're like, novelty wears off, it's expensive to go, so there's like just like no real point, and like it's just nicer just to stay in and drink, to be honest. I felt like it's so depressing saying that, but it's the truth, it is a trek to go into town and everything, so yeah, that's clubbing for you.